Jared wants to hit a special button. Eventually, we'll have some special lights
What do you
going.
think? Do we need applause?
I don't know. Just hit it. I'm just ashamed that you won the bet because VIP camping will. There rolls. There goes the photo on the screen. There it is.
Oh, it has got to be the high school pick of the century, dude.
So
You're not even going to look at it?
I see it. I lived it. I don't even need to look at it. I lived it. We want you to want us and us to want you here at the Fest podcast. Jared, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
You look good.
Is that your Cheap Trick entrance?
I love it.
I do love that song.
I heard it the other night. I'm like, we're going to use that as an intro.
It's been in your head the entire time?
Yes, it has.
Nice. I do enjoy that. I think that's probably your best one so far.
I don't know. It felt pretty good.
It feels good.
Here, let's sound check it. Jeez, Jared. Let's sound check it.
Don't look at me, man. I'm just here.
We're coming at you with ND Country Fest updates.
Oh, yeah?
Which there's a good visual that you have, I guess.
I think it's a great visual.
I lost the bet, so you're going to have to stay tuned for that. So
It's
you'll see
going
the
to look
visual.
good.
Yeah.
We may sell that as merch.
Festival news around the world. We have some good stuff.
Yeah, we got some good live music festival.
Yes, and another visual.
Yeah.
Which you love. And you were like, I got to get this on the screen.
I had to go in. I had to get my wife to help me work the computer to snag it.
Are you serious? I thought you got it.
She took a snag it.
Okay, all right. It's good. It's good.
I know.
Then the headliner, a good friend of mine, a good friend of ND Country Fest, the Associate Athletic Director and Team Maker Executive Director of North Dakota State University.
Yeah, Derrick Lang. That should be great.
Yes, that'll be a good one.
It's very timely because will you call it the big game because it's the only game this year?
Well, why wouldn't you? If it's the only game,
it's the big game. And so this is one near and dear to your heart because it's the Bison are actually playing.
And on the other hand, it's the only FCS game, I believe, this weekend.
I'm not going to fact check that, boys. Can one of you fact check that on the internet?
Once
Google?
again, our boys from Lightjumper Media are with us in studio.
They've got the little buttons and lights and cameras and
making us look clear, making us look visual,
making us look good.
And our YouTube.
Have you seen that trailer you guys have been pushing out?
Yeah, I love it.
That is awesome, right?
Then we got Ralphy's top three as usual.
Have you got that figured out?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
That'll be know what it is.
I don't know if there'll be a pause there after I ask the question. It'll be like just like that.
Of course there will be. Let me think about it.
We're getting personal on stage left. We'll talk about what we did this weekend. And then Jared, tell these fine listeners.
Don't do that.
Tell those fine listeners.
Every time you hit the
table,
something can happen there.
I know. I'm trying to be the
Did you hear it last week?
It was awesome. I hit the table and the damn music.
My wife was like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "Oh, Luke just smacked the table and it came on."
Pure.
And she's like, "Why?" And I'm like,
pure awesomeness.
I don't know. Like there's an energy. It went from that to there. It hit the little DKMs. I don't know. Like it was meant to be. So,
how can they find us, Jared?
You can find us on iTunes and all of your other podcasting sources. When you go to iTunes, rate and review us. We had a review that said we were...
Who was that? Phantom 5811. What did he say about it?
I don't know, but whoever you are, Phantom 5811, we love you. You were our first review comment.
Say more, please.
Please. You said these two are funny and have a great chemistry. We have a great chemistry. You want to read the next?
Not really a country music fan, but they are so interesting. Thank you.
That's the guy on my side of the aisle, not yours. So where are your peeps?
5811.
We enjoy that. So then we also want you to go to YouTube because YouTube, we're trying to build that up. It was kind of an afterthought when we started this podcast. Luke and I started off just trying to record ourselves. That didn't work out so well. So we went to the boys at Lightjumper Media, who I knew through my niece, and they made us look so good that I've decided to become a YouTube
decided, I think it was meant to be.
Meant to be.
And our views are and subscribers literally doubled
They're
overnight.
going up and up and up.
They
So we're
did
going to be a YouTube conglomerate magnate, whatever it is. So go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when we're going to drop something or when we're going to go live, because we're going to figure that out soon. Maybe do a little YouTube live, and leave a comment because all of those help our videos get seen.
And we do have something special. So the first 100 subscribers, for the first 100 subscribers for
We're going to
YouTube.
give each something, or are we going to do
What's
something
that?
else? We're not giving each of the first 100.
No,
something.
you'll get into a big drawing that we're going to give away right here and live as soon as we get 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that, because then you will be able to get notified by us anytime we drop something, which is usually and more than likely every Friday.
Hopefully. Knock on wood.
It's happening.
Whatever.
It's happening. Special giveaway.
All right. So we're going to go into Find Your Keys.
Yeah, let's go into ND Country Fest updates. This is sponsored by Lee Jaworski of Alliance Real Estate and Find Your Keys
With Lee.
Lee. All right, Jared. There's Lee right there. We put him on the board, so all you watching YouTube, there's Lee. But we had a little bet going on, Jared and I, at ND Country Fest.
Just a little one.
Which I didn't like that you did bet against it. But
I
that's
know.
fine.
I feel bad about that now. So
We had a price increase about 3 weeks ago at ND Country Fest.
Right.
We only have not many at all left now. But at the time, I was like, you know what? I bet we're gonna sell out of.
you're really, really confident.
We're gonna sell out of VIP camping spots. And I was like, oh, this is going for sure.
Right.
But unfortunately, good
didn't?
for you guys, because you could still go get your VIP camping spots, but there isn't many left. Good for Jared, because he won the bet that
I know. I still feel
we
bad
have.
about it, but this is so epically awesome that it overcomes my shame in betting against you. Because I should have lost.
You want to know what's garbage about it?
What's garbage
Is that
about it?
I'm the one who has to move the slide to it.
There's nothing garbage about that. You're just being humble because you're like, oh, this is a horrible picture. I don't want people to see it, but come on.
So a while ago, my wife posted this on social media. Jared
Thank you,
snagged
Kim.
it and put it into his cell phone from memory. And then he goes, okay, here's the bet. If you don't sell out of VIP camping, then you're going to show that senior photo that you had. I'm like, fine, it's on.
I've got an entire photo of shirtless Luke Schaefer pics that Kimmy seems to love to post.
So if you're listening to the podcast right now, jump over to the YouTube channel so then you can go see the photo. And all you that are looking at YouTube
Way
right
to
now.
tag those together, buddy.
Well, otherwise you can't see it, right? If
Right,
you're
you
just-
got to go see it. It might be on our Facebook Live.
So here it goes, my senior photo. I'm going to stick it up. Not too
Wait,
long.
hold
Not
on,
too long.
Hold on, let me do.
Jared wants to hit a special button. Eventually, we'll have some special lights
What do you
going.
think? Do we need applause?
I don't know. Just hit it. I'm just ashamed that you won the bet, because VIP camping will. There it rolls. There goes the photo on the screen. There it is.
Oh, it has got to be the high school pick of the century, dude.
So.
You're not even gonna look at it. And just
I see it. I lived it. I don't even need to look at it.
You
I
lived it. So
I
tell me
lived
about
it.
this pick.
So let's not describe too much, so our listeners go over to the YouTube channel and check it out. But what it is,
You got to describe it a little
it's
bit.
A uniform. Okay, I'll describe it. So I was a senior going into my senior year. I was a football player. Blah blah blah.
Obviously, we've talked about that endlessly for like 3 episodes. Right?
So there was a thing where it was, hey, I kind of had an idea, but I didn't think it was gonna go this far. But
Sure.
I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take my
Whatever.
shirt off, and then I'm gonna have my helmet, pants, and then they came up with smoke and this thing behind me, and all of a sudden,
is that smoke behind you, or is that like a sheet, or
and
what's
the
going on?
smoke is like right there, and then the sheet was.
Did you do this at Glamour Shots?
But what's funny is that from the photo that got taken from my wife, you can kind of see our bathroom in the background there.
Is that your bathroom? Oh, that is. It does look like your bathroom.
It is. It is.
I just thought that was part of it. This
It was a foreshadowing for my future to this moment right now.
Kimmy, you are awesome.
Anyway, I got my shirt off, flexed in, whatever. But I was like, hey, that's cool. And they're like, hey, do you mind if we stick this in our lobby? I'm like, you serious? And they're like, yeah, you can have the photo when it's done. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I was thinking for like a week. It was up in that photography studio for like 6 months straight. So, and mind you, I went and got my senior photos like in June.
Right.
Everybody else was still had to go in the
Right. So
town.
you
The town of Bismarck
Did you
still had to go.
strategically and tactically do this?
Not really. At the point, no. But then when they said, "Hey, you want to hang it?" Then I was like, "That sounds okay."
Did you get any phone numbers from anybody, or did anybody come in and be like, "Hey, you're the half naked guy at the photography studio"?
So the honest truth, the dudes that went in and saw that hated it, right?
Right. They just mock you endlessly.
Yeah. Now the girls, I got about half a dozen digits for that.
Well, that's worth it then, right?
Well, yeah.
We just get. I think we need to get that blown up life size and put it over there in the corner.
So there it is. If you're listening on our podcast right now, jump over to YouTube. You can see the photo right then and there. I'm going to swipe it off.
It has to stay there the whole segment.
No. We'll go back to Lee and we'll come back to it. Lee saved me.
You're going to have to switch past it.
I will. Yep, I will.
Real quick. Yes,
I will.
Thank you.
I'm excited about that.
All right.
So ND Country Fest updates. Yep, there's still VIP camping spots available. Not many at all. Some questions that we have had at ND Country Fest about VIP camping. They're like, well, I'd love to be a VIP camper, but I don't know if I don't have the $100,000 rig. I don't have the $200,000 rig. Hey, it's not like that, especially not at ND Country Fest. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are the $500,000 rigs out there, multiple, but that doesn't mean you can't be a VIP if you don't have that. You can just roll in with your regular camper or whatever you got and come and be a VIP with everybody. It's a culture thing where everybody gets along, acceptance, and it's a great party in that VIP camping.
I got one of those hammocks that you just sort of,
Banana
flash
hammock?
out into the wind, fill it up with air and throw it down on the ground. Is that okay?
Yeah, as long as you buy the spot.
Buy the spot, I can do it.
And you have one steering wheel.
I can do it.
One steering wheel and one camper, and you can throw 2, 3
I'm not even
hammocks up
sure
there.
I'm going to have a steering wheel. I'm just going to show up with like a hammock and a cooler.
Do you know how many people would probably mess with you then? Probably. Just because I would tell them to.
They'd just be like, dude, what's going on?
There's Jared. The Jared's over there in his hammock.
I'm like,
tip him over.
Tip him over? Wow, that's pretty mean. Be good, though. Like, come over, have beer. I'll make you a mojito. We'll all be good friends.
But you know what? You bring that up. You say, hey, make a mojito and all that kind of stuff. So VIP camping, which also happens in frontier camping as well. But VIP, they get a little bit crazier. They have their huge bars, right? Big bar setup, big smokers going, big grills going. You can smell food for miles. And you can walk through and everybody's like, come on and eat with us. Come and hang out with us. They have the big speakers and everything going.
Are you sure they're only doing that for you?
Well, no, because I only roll through like one time all weekend. That's it.
What?
Yeah.
I'd be rolling by all the time to get some free food.
I wouldn't make it all weekend if I stayed there.
That's fair. You do have to work.
And there are some things I have to take care of.
Haven't we divvied those up to everybody now? Like one last family member you can have to do all the other stuff, and you can roll around and eat food.
I like to have my pulse on it. Right?
Your pulse, you're like, what's
like
going on?
Feel the smell.
I can feel something going on in the front of house. I better wander up there and see what's going on.
You'd imagine.
You'd miss the mannequin, right?
But yeah, VIP camping is a great experience. You don't have to have the huge rig. You just have to have a great party attitude because people love it in there. There's not many left. Go check it out at ndcountryfest.com to grab your VIP camping, your VIP admission, and your VIP tickets. What else do we have for the update? Let's hear a little bit more about Lee, Jared.
What sets me apart is I like to interact with my clients a little bit more, maybe just actually become more friends with them than just a client business relationship. I'd probably have to say it'd be Who Hut just because I like the food and my daughter absolutely loves it. I chose real estate because I like to help people and it's fun, it's exciting, it can be stressful, but it's always good to just find a solution to a problem.
That was Lee Jaworski with Alliance Real Estate, headlining ND Country Fest updates. Find your keys with Lee, Jared.
Yeah, one of our original sponsors.
Yes, sir. Let's ship ourselves into festival news around the world, my friend.
Are we trying to create a relationship?
Do you know you're actually catching on every time I change that up? You're the only one. I was hoping our listeners would too as well, and they will.
Like
I do change that.
We're going to eat our way in. We're going to ship our way in.
Jump. We're going to fly next and all that kind of stuff.
Who are we shipping this segment with?
That's with you. Hometown Heroes Live. Tell me about it, Jared. What do you got? New festival news around the world. This is exciting.
This is
just
good.
like this. Oh, there we go.
So Hometown Heroes Live was last weekend. It was mostly in Texas. So it was in North Dallas. It was in Austin. It was in Lubbock.
So 3 locations.
3 locations, 2 nights. They had, how would you describe it? Like I would say, they'd have the acts that were going to play live at each of the shows, and then some of those acts that were playing in Austin would be streamed in Lubbock and North Dallas. If you're playing North Dallas, they'd stream those out. And it was just a creative way that these guys came up with to have what has probably been called the largest scale musical event post-COVID. I didn't know we were post-COVID. I thought we were like three-quarters of the way in
Still
COVID.
in it.
Maybe. I don't know, depending on which side of the news you leave. But
what was cool about that? So there's 3 locations going all on at once.
Right.
So what was cool is that they all had their set and their headliners at each different area.
right. So Snoop,
one would play.
Right.
So Snoop would play.
Right.
And then they'd stream it to the other 2.
Right.
And then when Snoop came off, and then who was on? Dave Matthews was on the other one, right?
Not Dave Matthews, but we'll call it Cody Johnson.
Okay, so say Cody Johnson was playing,
Right.
And then Cody Johnson would be in the other location, and then the one that Snoop just played will be streaming Cody Johnson. So it was really cool.
Like back and forth, and they streamed it. They were able to spread out the people.
Mm-hmm.
We got the picture here from their website. It's another, what would you call it? A deviation of the
Owl
concert
Festival?
cages.
Concert cages, yeah. If you're listening and you want to see the picture, jump over to our YouTube channel and you'll see that picture, which is really cool. It's actually a lot of bike fence in sectors off, and it looks like they can fit about 4 or 5 people in each one.
Got a table.
Yeah.
Some of them have tables. I guess if you're a VIP, you get a table. If you're not VIP,
one
you don't get a
little
table.
table. Yeah.
One little table to hold your stuff.
Check it out, though. It's an interesting photo.
Yeah, I saw some photos. I think it was like from Austin360.com. If you went there, it showed people, 2s, 4s in their little area. They brought their chairs. They got set up. What I liked about this story is this started off as one of our drive-in events, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they were going to have a drive-in event. They were picking locations to do it. And it went from a drive-in event to in-person
a
event.
non-driving.
Right.
Yeah, it's pods. It is pods, but it's biked off with bike fence and rope.
And it's innovative at this point because we're moving around and we're trying to get to better, at least get to some sense of normality.
And I like it because it's progressive, right? It's different now. It's not cars. It's people in there in their little sections, and there's tons of them.
Right. And then the other thing that they did that was interesting is they used the Ralphy app, and I've never heard of it before, but when you looked at it, that's how people were ordering their concessions, or if they wanted merch, they would order it from the Ralphy app. They would deliver it to your little pod section, and then you never had to go in and be around and be around people. And then if you wanted a ride to the bathroom or the porta potties, you could summon that from the Ralphy app as well. So they're thinking, and they are the 2 guys that put this on, I think, are father and son.
Oh, that's cool.
And they run a pretty big music location or bar in Texas, where they do a lot of the country music live country music scene. So they were just trying to come up with better ways that they could do this. So
what's interesting too, so when one was done on one location and they streamed the other one over into one that just got done,
right?
You know what that did? It gave them time to set up for the next headliner and disinfect everything.
Right. And they just
so timing was great.
They did, and it was a cool, clever idea.
Yeah.
So you could
check it out.
You had to have 3 stages. So I don't know how well that worked out all the way around, but it's an idea and it works. And it's probably the biggest one we've seen come across so far.
And progressing quickly.
Right.
From nothing to streaming.
Right.
To drive-in cars and driving cars streaming. They weren't even there.
Right.
To cars and people that were there.
Right.
Performing in front of cars to
and they're
actually
just
people there now.
They're just trying it. Like a bunch of comedians are out on the road doing the drive-ins right now. They figured out where the fun ones are. You found a couple this weekend that actually had drive-in concerts.
Yeah, Chris Jansen had a drive-in show at the Charlotte Motor Inn. So,
when you say this, when you first told me about it, I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. They just got a gigantic parking lot. They would just set up the stage in the parking lot and go. And you're like, no. They set up the stage, and then the people were in the
infield. It looked like that's what it looked like from what I saw in photos I saw and videos I saw.
Right.
But what was interesting, so Chris Jansen was there. This wasn't streamed on a video screen and people were sitting in their cars watching it. He was physically there on stage performing.
And Chris was supposed to be your headliner, your Friday night headliner this year?
Correct, in 2020.
You got a bunch of notifications on that, so you're definitely interested.
Well, we always follow everybody whoever's popular and hot in country music, which he he is.
Right.
He's killing it. Done. Number one song in America about a month ago.
I love that song.
But what was kind of some of the stuff I saw was that it was a little odd to me, right? Just because of this video that I saw, he was on stage and it was from the stage moving out, shooting out to the crowd.
Right.
And it was just a bunch of cars and there was a couple that was backed up, I'm sure it was VIP because they're in front row. In their truck, but not sitting on the tailgate. They had to sit on the bed of their truck, which must have been something to do with the rules and regulations that they had. But there's just two people there. And then two people in a bunch of cars that looked like they were the only two there. And he was like, the concert
you got a private concert.
Yeah.
That's awesome. If you really love Chris Jansen, you're those two people.
Concert of the century.
Well, the thing that I've heard in listening to a bunch of comedians that have been out on the road is you have to get out as the performer or as the talent and establish the rules of what the drive-in concert is like or what the show is like. So they got to get up there and say, hey, if you like something, laugh, get out on your hood,
honk your horn.
Yeah. And the horn honking is what drives people nuts. So if you say, hey, no, you don't need to honk the horn after every joke or heckle or anything, because, just get out and have a good time and enjoy yourself. Although I guess there's nothing worse if you're a comedian and somebody doesn't like what you're saying and they leave.
Dead silence.
Or they just start the car.
And
go and like back it up, pull out, beep, 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 as they're driving. And you're up there trying to give a joke. Yeah. So then the second one you saw was another former Indie Country Fest alum.
Yeah, that was 2019. Travis Tritt did a drive-in show in Athens Amphitheater in Georgia, and that baby sold out.
Yeah, it had
sold out.
Aubrey.
No, it had Ashley McBride.
It's an A. It's McBride. I'm trying. I've got to give me credit for all of the country I've had to pour into my brain the last 6-8 months.
The effort's above average. I'll give you that.
I give it like a B-.
Ashley McBride opened for him, and then Travis Tritt and headlined the show. It sold out. It's another one of those drive-ins.
How many people?
They didn't say. I know.
That's what I want to know. I want to know what the numbers are. I want to know. I think for didn't we look up one of them where it was like $200 a car, $250 and $350?
It was $200 GA, and then like $350 was VIP.
So,
but I'm sure it's like 4 to 6 people to a car. Something like, because what if it's a van, right?
It's going to be like when I was growing up, my parents had that custom van with the seats that would twirl around and the square box TV in it. And we went to see, I think we went to see Spaceballs at the drive-in. And it was me and one of my friends. Right? Me and one of my friends in the front, and there were like 6 dudes in the back hiding under a blanket trying to pretend they weren't there. So
when your radar is jammed.
When you live in Cody, Wyoming, during the summer, you have 2 movie theaters, 2 drive-ins, and in the winter you have one theater that plays movies that are probably a month, 2, 3, 4 months old. So, you try to get whatever you can. Travis
Tritt did say, though, he was very excited and very enthusiastic about playing in front of a crowd again and back on stage, which obviously any artist would, because that's what they do.
You get the energy.
That's what they live and die for and breathe, and they do their craft. So he's super excited about that, which I believe. I mean, he brings a lot of energy on the stage.
I know what else you're super excited about. The NFL.
NFL announced that on week 6, which is about 3 weeks from now, that all their stadiums are going to go to 25% capacity.
Oh, that means Jerry Jones is going to go to like 45 just to,
whenever Jerry World.
Jerry will do what Jerry wants to do.
So that's interesting too, because look, it's quickly progressing because there's nobody in the stands to all of a sudden. Well, then Jerry had 21.5, was it? The other day?
I think. Well, his stadium holds 100,000, so he's going to go 25 or do whatever he can, right?
Well, yeah, I mean that's what it is, right? It's capacity based.
They need to make that money back, man.
So that's exciting. Progress.
So what do you think about the Titans having like 8 affected players? You think that's going to have an effect on people in the stands or them playing games, or is it
the players? No, the players being infected. I don't think they'll have anything to do with the stands because you can't touch those players regardless, right? I would say, I know that just happened today, didn't it? It just came out today.
Yeah, it just came out today.
I bet they'll wait
Behind
till
the scenes, we do record on Tuesdays, but you probably know that if you're following our Facebook lives.
And then today they're gonna wait. They're gonna wait as long as possible to see if they can play the game. If that's all the way till Saturday, it's all the way till Saturday.
Hey, that's what you did with the festival. You waited up until the very last moment moment before you can make a decision. So
Well, you
why
just
wouldn't the
don't
NFL?
know, right? It was 2 weeks prior to when we canceled. Everybody else were canceling their shows 3 months, 4 months, 2 months prior to when their actual show was. We didn't postpone until 2 weeks prior to our event.
Right, and the NFL, they have
close.
options. They'll figure out what they want to do.
They'll figure it out, and they got all kinds of ducks there, Jared.
Yeah, well, did you see the Raiders had they got fined because one person who wasn't on the 40-person staff got through into the locker room after their win, Monday Night Football a couple weeks ago.
Well, it's that tight, right? I mean, you got to be responsible. And
how do they figure out that one person?
I love it because it's all progressing, and everybody's taking those steps toward progression and back to normality.
ND Country Fest 2021 is coming back stronger and better than ever with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Little Texas, featuring Diamond Rio, Leroy Parnell, John Michael Montgomery, with more coming soon. Plan now to attend Dakota's largest and nation's fastest growing country music and camping festival, ndcountryfest.com.
Sponsored by Coors Light, Action Motorsports, New Vision Security, Trans Trash, Smithworks, and American Family Insurance, DJ Coulter Agency.
Hey, we're flying into our headliner, brought to you by Bruno's Pizza, $15.99. Any large is the special. Order at brunosnd.com. We have an exciting one. We have North Dakota State's Associate Athletic Director and Teammakers Executive Director, a good friend of ND Country Fest, a good friend of mine, yours truly, Derrick Lang. Here he is, people. There he is.
How about that? How about that intro?
You like that?
I need my wife to have a little bit of excitement when I get home every night.
All right.
I don't get that all the time, so
I did that 5 times in the mirror.
Yeah, he's been working on it all week.
I could tell.
Let me do the intro. I've got it covered.
Derrick,
I appreciate you guys having me.
We appreciate you, my friend. Tell us a little bit about Teammakers. What's that all about?
Yeah, so Teammakers is a nonprofit organization that's been around since 1950 and associated with Bison Athletics. Our main purpose on the Teammaker side is we raise money for student-athlete scholarships here at NDSU. So we've got 16 sports, and so Teammakers, we're responsible for raising all the scholarship money to give kids the opportunity to come here to NDSU and Fargo and excel in the classroom, in the community, and in their sports as well. So been a group that's grown a ton, since they started, 60, 70 years ago. Into what NDSU has become now, and our brand has grown so much. So it certainly evolved and is involved in a lot of different things throughout the community. But again, our main purpose to raise scholarships and opportunity to provide those opportunities for student athletes here at NDSU.
Which is massive for an athletic department, right? I mean,
yeah.
Fundraising, facilities, and in the competitive world that it's in right now with everything.
Got to fund those scholarships.
Mm-hmm, for sure. One thing we want to talk about is that the ND Country Fest Casino. So ND Country Fest, obviously everybody knows what that is.
Sure.
We have the first casino ever.
Have you verified that yet?
Verified in the Midwest region.
In the Midwest region, really?
Which is actually facilitated by the NDSU Teammakers.
Yeah. Yep.
So how's that work?
So what's great for us? So when I first talked to you, Derrick, it was we at the festival, we're always looking for great experiences for people and things for them to do, especially during the mornings, and the nights. But it was like, hey, people like casinos, right? I mean, there's no doubt they like our crowd specifically likes to have a good time, likes to go to casinos. It was like, hey, let's see if we can make this work. Like put this here, drink and gamble, right?
That's always a great combination, drinking and gambling.
Right.
Safe thing to do.
It's fun. And when we first announced it, obviously it didn't happen in 2020. We know that got postponed to 2021. But when we first announced it, our fans and crowd just went crazy. They were like, we will be there from when we open at 10 a.m. all the way until 1 a.m. And that's such a great thing for them to do in an experience. But what we want to clarify is that ND Country Fest doesn't get those funds. That goes directly to, go ahead. Where does that go?
Yeah. So
the Teammakers, right?
Yeah, so that's one dimension of Teammakers that people probably don't realize or maybe understand. We have our own 5 locations at bars throughout Fargo, mostly in Fargo, Moorhead, that have gaming sites as well. So blackjack, pull tabs, all those things. So we've got our own locations here, and all that money that's raised through those elements all go back to helping us fund our student athlete scholarship. So any money that's made throughout those elements all again goes back to our scholarship pot that helps us write the check at the end of the day back to the athletic department for student athlete scholarship. So all that money again goes back to our student athletes in some fashion.
And we are so very fortunate to have you there for 2021, and that'll be great. We just want to clarify that. So
yeah, because I thought support. You were getting all the money.
Yeah, you did. You're like, how did you create a casino?
You're going to a casino? Like who'd you talk to? How'd you work that out? Do we have to get you like a cane and like a top hat, and you're going to start rolling around? Big money?
I think fortunately for those in North Dakota, they're very passionate about our student athletes. So I think the opportunity to give them a chance to gamble and also support NDSU is at the same time is a great thing.
It something near and dear to his heart and gives his customers. Would you call them customers? Your fans,
guests.
Fans?
We call them guests, Jared.
Your guests, something to do during the day or at night or whenever they just want to hop into the air-conditioned
casino.
I mean, it's a win. It's a win-win. They're going to enjoy themselves, enjoy the concert, and then hopefully leave with a little extra money in their pocket too.
That's right.
That happens when you go to a casino?
They can literally walk across the street. They don't even have to drive, right? They come from their campground right in.
It's there.
It's built in.
It's almost too, hey, you're making it too easy.
What?
Well, they're not going to want to leave.
That's a
good thing,
right? Touche.
Luke hates it when you give out secrets. Now he's
there's no secret there. That's full.
All right, so we're gonna roll into a big week for you guys, huh?
Yeah, it is a big week for us. We're looking forward to Saturday. Obviously, a lot of as you guys know as well as anybody, 2020 seems to always bring something new every day. So we obviously are adjusting and adapting just like everybody else. And there's been a lot of different directions and turns that our season has taken, but we're really excited for Saturday to give our student athletes a chance to compete, which is what they love to do and strap it up for the Bison. So no, we're really excited. Obviously we've had some changes, but we're excited to see our kids compete again. It's been too long. It's crazy to think the last competition that we had was when we beat UND in the Summit League men's basketball championship, and that seems like eons ago. So we're excited. We're excited to see our kids compete. So it'll be a fun weekend.
So this is a big change for you because you just took this job over in 2019, and now you got to deal with COVID and how to adapt.
Yeah. It's we're certainly, as talking with some people, I'm learning something new every day. I would say I've learned some things probably faster through all this than I maybe would have otherwise. I think sometimes, again, I'm preaching to the choir here with you guys, but adjusting and adapting. What's true one day might not be true the next.
Right.
And sometimes in leadership roles, you will never please everybody. And so you just do the best you can with the information you have. And for us, we've always kept our fans, our donors, and our student athletes at the forefront and keeping them safe. So we'll always lean back on that too as we make decisions.
How have you been staying in contact with like the folks,
donors?
Team
that's got to be
makers
hard.
And donors? Yeah, that's always interesting to me because we did that as well. But how did that work out for you guys?
Yeah, so when a lot of this started going down, we've got over 3,300 accounts. Which those 3,300 accounts, there's about 13,000 total season tickets within that, but 3,300 accounts. Yeah. So we made the decision early on. We were going to do the best we could to call everyone individually, just to go over what the potential spring season is going to look like, what their options are for any of the money that they've already paid that they've now lost because we're playing less games this year. So we started that process a couple months ago, and we're continuing to do that. We've had to adjust a little bit here recently with not being able to have fans in the stands here this Saturday. We moved to an online form. We'll continue to call some people, but just in an effort to get people their options. Again, we've changed course a little bit the last couple of weeks, so want to get them their information, but we're continuing to call people. And quite honestly, for me, it's been a great experience because with me still being relatively new, it's been fun for me to connect with a number of our fans over the phone and develop that relationship and that trust. So it's been a blessing for me in disguise too, in a sense. So doing the best we can to make that personal touch with everybody.
Yeah, you get to reach out and get to know your donors on a first-hand basis.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been fun. You know, a lot of our fans are so passionate about our student athletes, which is awesome to see. Certainly disappointed we can't have them in the Dome here this weekend. But it's been a lot of fun to get to know them and learn from them and hear from them and see how they're doing. You know, this thing has obviously affected people in a lot of different ways. So it's been fun just to check in with them too and see how they're doing.
That's a great personal touch, right? Not every thing that you're involved in all of a sudden gets a phone call from the actual executive director and say, how you doing?
I think if you're good at development or good at raising money or calling your VIPs, you're going to reach out and call because, you know, you
would be amazed, Mr. Jared.
I don't know.
There's plenty of phone calls I have not gotten.
I do know.
What I would add to that too, just from NDSU's standpoint, is I think that anyone that knows NDSU and knows why we are where we are today, we've always done things different. And we'll continue to do that, and that's what's made us successful. So we're just continuing to do what we've done. And so, it's been a lot of fun to connect with all those people.
And I know ASU did about this, a similar thing when they called to ask us for our season, tell us about our season tickets.
Arizona State?
Did they? Yeah. So they called wanted to know. They wanted
more
to
they care about you.
They cared about the donation at the end. They're like, hey, do you want to keep the donation going on?
Oh.
And it's like,
I see NDSU teammaker in your future, buddy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, recruiting a couple of people. I love it.
That's right.
It's got to be like osmosis because it just boils out of Luke or bubbles out of Luke. His enthusiasm for the Bison is always there. So
I love it.
What Derrick said, I mean, once you're in that program, it is definitely different than somewhere else. And if you don't experience it, then you can say, oh, yeah, well, it's the same there. It's just not. And things are done just a little bit different. I would say
even their image, right? Mm-hmm. Because, you know, game day goes there. They're known as a premier football program, even though it's the FCS level, they're known as producing players, coaches, those sorts of things. So
our brand has certainly come a long ways. I think obviously the football success has a lot to do with that, but we've got all of our programs that are really successful across the board. Our softball program has won the Summit League, 12 out of the last 13 years, and we've got a beautiful facility there. And men's basketball has been in the tournament consistently, and so we've got a lot of our, obviously football plays a big part in that with game day and the draft picks and all those things. But we're fortunate that we support all of our programs across the board, are fully supported and have everything they need to be successful. So that all certainly plays a part in that.
So Saturday,
there's something going on Saturday.
Central Arkansas rolls into the Dome, 2:30 Central kickoff. Number 11, ESPN Plus. Obviously, you'll be watching.
I will. What else is there to watch right now?
Friends and family of players will be there in the stands.
Right.
But the one thing that'll be missing is the tailgating, right? I think NDSU, there's many polls out there, but NDSU tailgating has been ranked in the top 5.
Top 5?
Top 5 of all college football, not FCS, all college football. Some of them have been 3, some have been 4.
I need to see these polls.
However, I've never seen Arizona State on it.
We need the fact checkers in here to roll through that on that.
Tell our listeners, Jared, how that tailgating experience is when it all comes back. This is what they're going to be looking forward to.
I wouldn't know.
Maybe you should go.
You ask Jared if he would know. Derrick, how's that tailgating experience?
Sorry.
Yeah, hey, close enough. I've been called worse.
ASU version.
I've been called worse. No, it's that's another element of game day that's really evolved. I think probably 15, 20 years ago, it started with, some people just sitting on the back of their truck tailgate and hanging out with their friends. Now, if you come up to tailgating, the financial investment and time that people have put into the rigs that they have out there is pretty significant. So they're all in, and it's become a family affair. They're out there hanging out with their family and friends, and shoot, there are people that start making their food and preparing all that on Tuesday and Wednesday of that week. So it's a big deal. Our fans put a ton of effort and energy into that, and it's a huge part of the game day experience. It's become more than just the game. People are out there lined up at 6 a.m. ready to go, fired up about Bison football. So it's a huge part of the game day experience. It's if people haven't been out there, I'd highly suggest, whether you're a Bison fan or not, come to Fargo, check out a weekend when we're back to some sort of normalcy, hopefully next fall, because it's a pretty cool experience. It's a community event, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, so there is a spring football season, is that right, for the FCS?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. Yeah, so we'll start our spring season the last week of February. So our first game is going to be it's actually going to be a Sunday, which is a little bit different. Obviously, there are some challenges with a spring season on a short notice in terms of facilities being used for different events and all those things. So having to adjust a little bit, especially on our end, with us not owning the Fargo Dome. We had to be a little bit flexible, and so the league's been working with us. But so yes, we'll start last week of February. It'll be a Sunday, and then we'll play 8 conference games, 4 at home, 4 away, and then we'll go into a 16-team playoff, and then the national championship. If we're hopefully blessed to make it that far, will be May 15th, still down in Frisco, Texas.
So that's kind of awesome, though, because you're kind of the only game in town at that point. The NFL will be over. College football will be over.
Yep. Yeah. So it'll be certainly the only football going on in the country. So it will be a little bit better exposure for the FCS. So that'll be exciting. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more games on TV and have a national audience. And
it'll be what the USFL or Arena Football League or whatever XFL has always tried to be, is spring football, but it'll actually be watchable probably.
What'll be cool about it on 2 things. Yeah, because people will still be thriving for football because football started later on BCS football and NFL.
Pac-12 will probably still be getting around.
Pac-12 will be over.
Yeah.
But what a great exposure in the FCS, where it's one of those leagues where people don't usually see it on TV.
Right.
That's ESPN.
You have to go out and look.
Yeah.
Look hard. And I'll be popping up ESPN. There's going to be a 16-game tournament. I'm going to want to watch it because there's nothing else to watch, so it's amazing.
The other thing that is cool, and Derrick, you're a player, and so was I a way long time ago. But what's cool is they don't, correct me if I'm wrong, they don't lose any eligibility, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah. So this year, no matter how many games you play, you will not lose in any of your. It won't count against your clock or your eligibility at all. So, which is great. Just because this season brings so many different challenges. So yeah, no student athletes for our fall sports will lose any years of eligibility. So they'll all have the chance, if they're a senior this year, to come back if they would like.
Well, that's kind of the joy of being able to play this weekend, isn't it? Because you got in 4 weeks of practice getting ready for this game. So now you're going to be a little more prepared when you get to the spring season, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that was one thing we were really excited about. When some things changed, the NCAA ruled you can spend a little bit more, if you have games scheduled for the fall, you can spend a little bit more time with your student athletes on the practice field. So
right,
we were excited to get this game, especially this weekend, so that our coaching staff could spend more time with them. So that was a huge advantage of getting at least the one game here in the fall. Obviously, there's other positives to that. I think our student athletes are probably sick of hitting each other and hitting the same color. You know how that goes, Luke. Get sick of seeing the same guy over and over. So our
same
student
offense,
athletes
same defense.
seeing the same clip 18,000 times.
Yeah,
the defense is calling out the play before you even line up. Like, bubble screen, jailbreak. Oh,
yeah. It's like, oh, congratulations. You've seen this like 18 times. So I'd hope you have it figured out. No, so our kids are excited to play someone else. So it'll be fun.
Well, yeah, and Trey Lance needs a game to show that he's going to be drafted, he's still going to get drafted, but he needs something to show 1 through 10 where he's at, I'm supposing.
Yeah, no, it'll be a great opportunity for him. I think Trey has certainly never made this game about him at all. It's been about the Bison, and we wouldn't expect anything less. Trey's a great football player. I think he's a better human being. Does things the right way. Gets great great in the classroom, great in the community. He's a great ambassador for NDSU. So no, we're excited about his opportunities in the future. He's certainly going to have those, but I'm sure he's looking forward to putting that Bison uniform on at least one more time, and we'll see in the future what happens.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Do you play in the spring or not play in the spring?
No, you don't play in the spring. If you're asking me.
You're just straight for the draft and take the dough.
You already ranked like number 10, in the whole thing. So,
right. So
I'll play this weekend, and then I'll be like, hey.
I think it's probably a win-win for Trey, right? He's in a good spot, and he's loved being a Bison. So it's we're excited for him, whatever opportunity he takes advantage of.
Well, I'm excited for the game this Saturday.
Now I'm gonna watch it.
And we always give our guests a nice little question towards the end.
Oh yeah.
What
would you be doing if you could do anything in the world?
Nope,
right now?
not that one.
Oh no,
that's a different one. That's a different guest. So Jared's a huge I said Jared's a huge Arizona State
fan.
am
a Sun Devil.
He's a Devil.
Okay.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like this, but they do it a little bit different. Oh, the fork. Yeah.
So can I ask a question first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can.
So what are your thoughts, feelings on the Herm Edwards era?
That's great. So
I like this. I love it.
It'll make happy. He likes the Herm, the coach, I think. Honestly, when he got announced, I was like, really? Herm Edwards? Like, he hasn't coached in a long, long time.
NFL analyst.
Right.
Last time he coached was the Jets, I think.
Yeah, and it's just it was less exciting than you would want for our program. Especially after the Todd Graham era, the Dennis Erickson era.
Yeah, you've been through all of them.
Right.
So Jared's been a diehard graduate, all that stuff.
I've been there a long time.
Dirk Cutter.
Dirk Cutter. Forgot about that one.
Right? That's where coaches come to die sometimes. But
you just said that about your own team.
I know. So I was less than excited, but I'll tell you what, Herm has really invigorated the program to a point where it's an NFL style program now. So we've got NFL coaches that are coming in, working with Herm. The kids it's treated like an NFL program. The kids are treated that way. If you're good as a freshman, you're going to play, and Herm lives up to his words. So, I think we were pretty excited this year about the prospects of seeing where it was going to go. So the first year was like, we'll see how this goes.
Because that was still Dennis Erickson's guys.
No, it was still Todd Graham's guys.
But was it really? Yeah. No, it was close.
No.
50-50.
No.
He wasn't there. He was there 3-4 years.
No, he's there 5.
Oh, so
no, he's certainly put an impressive staff together.
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, between
we had a coach that was here at NDSU for a couple of years, Jamar Kane, was at Arizona State last year and had nothing but great things to say about working there. So
yeah, it's kind of a re-envisioning of the program, which I like. You can kind of tell the difference from the sidelines, because under the previous regime, they didn't look like they were having that much fun. And on the sidelines, the players or the kids are looking like they're enjoying being out there and they want to play. And they're not, when they're getting yelled at, they're getting yelled at for doing something. They're just not getting yelled at to get yelled at. So,
right.
The fans, there's more fans getting more involved.
Yeah, I think
crowds are bigger.
I think we go through this. ASU's the ultimate Greek tragedy. Like, it starts off, you get really excited, you get really pumped up, and then somebody comes and kicks the chair out from underneath you, and then you're back to the bottom, and you build your way back up.
Well, speaking of that, let's ask the question. So, the Herm Edwards Arizona State Sun Devils versus the North Dakota State Bison with Trey Lance playing right now today. Coming down to Phoenix, to Tempe to play. Who wins?
Are we playing in August? Or
No, we're playing today.
Well,
we'll just say Saturday instead of Central Arkansas. They're going to play Arizona State at Arizona State.
That'd be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
Question. Answer.
Am I going first?
You go first. I already know who I'm picking.
I know who I'm picking. And I know who you're picking because you're a teammate.
Yeah. You probably know which way I would sway. Yeah. No, that'd be a lot of fun. I tell you what, I haven't seen a ton of Arizona State, but I think I know our kids and our staff would be excited about that opportunity. And I think our style of play will always give us give us an opportunity. I think we've proven that obviously in the last 10 years or so. So that'd be a lot of fun. You know, who else would be really excited is our fan base.
Oh, yeah.
We've got, as you guys know, we've got a lot of snowbirds that come down there for the winter and have places down there. So that'd be a lot of fun. Let's make it happen.
Hey, I'm pitching for that, right? So I'm saying when that happens, that's going to be great. I think Arizona State and NDSU.
I think we only play.
Great game.
I don't think we would schedule.
Great game.
Like, I'm surprised Oregon scheduled it this year, didn't they? Weren't you
Yeah.
guys
So that was, you know, that was probably scheduled 6-7 years ago. So yeah, those things certainly take time. But we'll be in Tucson
even 6-7
2 years
ago.
from now.
Well,
3 years from now down at U of A.
2022.
Do you guys have all your passports and stuff in order for when you go over the border?
Jared doesn't like.
I don't like Tucson, and I don't like the U of A.
That's the team down south, you say, right?
Down south.
Yeah.
Over the border.
Yeah.
In Mexico.
So I would say the game's closer than the experts think, and NDSU wins.
I'm
Love
gonna say ASU would win, but I would be worried.
And I would say that Arizona State would not schedule it just because of that fact,
right?
Possibility,
right? They would. Well, I don't know. I think this new regime might, if there was a benefit.
I don't know, but Derrick's no stranger to big games. He is one of the big parts when he played that knocked off Kansas State.
Right. This
back
is the argument that
2013.
Luke always tells me is like, oh, hey, Kansas State got knocked off back in this one day.
But
that's
a
right?
great play call.
That's right. Colorado State beat Minnesota, then Kansas State, and
Right.
Derrick did 2 third down conversions to keep the drive going. And
So how is that when you beat a ranked team coming up from FCS?
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I can't remember if Kansas State was ranked that year or not. They did win the Big 12 the year prior.
Luke swears they were, so that's part of
were.
his
They
argument.
and they might. They
were.
could have been.
You were lying?
we'll just say they had
Oh. He had
Yeah.
me worried. He's like, oh, really? Wow, that didn't.
Hey,
I don't remember that.
Arizona State wasn't ranked either at
No,
that time.
That's
so.
fair.
No, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, we were blessed. We get a chance to play in front of 18,000 people every week, but to play in front of 50 plus is an unbelievable experience too. So that was a lot of fun.
Derrick, how can people get involved in Team Makers and the NDSU Athletic Club?
Yeah, it's certainly feel free to always reach out to our staff. We'll always take care of you, and we've got our contact information on our website, but can certainly go to ndsuathleticfund.com as well. That's an easy way to get involved and sign up from wherever you're located. But otherwise, certainly give us a call and we can send more information. But I would always just go to our website, educate yourselves on how to get involved and all the things we're doing and the great accomplishments our student athletes are accomplishing in the community, in the classroom, and in competition. We're really proud of everything they're accomplishing. So it's a great thing to be a part of.
And you're having watch parties this weekend for the big game, so people can
Yep,
go to various
you bet.
sites and watch those. That's kind of cool. You have to adapt. So
Yeah, and we've got alums and proud alums and people that are passionate about the Bison all over the country. So they end up organizing a lot of those, and it's fun to see. It's fun to see when people are posting flags of the Bison in Florida and the Caribbean, Arizona, all kinds of places. So it's a national brand. I will say that.
the best off-site, I don't know, watch party I ever did was watching an ASU game in New York City, and the game started at like 1 o'clock their time, and it was up in one of the bars there, and those kids or the people there came to party, and it was interesting watching a game until 4 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. But,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
so
Hey, Jared.
wow.
Well, I was
No,
going to
you
say,
were
hey,
talking to
Jared.
me,
Yeah.
okay, who
That's
we
all right.
talking
Now
to?
you come in. Derrick, hey,
I'm
thanks
just
for
gonna
the
go by Derrick.
Thanks for the time, my friend. Thanks for joining us. It was great. I know it's a super busy week for you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for the time, and thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having us, and we're really excited to be a part of Country Fest moving forward in the future.
Hey,
Nice to meet you, Derrick. We'll
appreciate it.
have
Awesome.
to have you in when you come down to raise some money from those snowbirds.
That's right.
I love it.
See you later.
I'm in. See you guys.
Go Bison.
Brothers and sisters, I hear you asking yourself day after day, what am I gonna have for lunch? Do I want another burger? Do I need another taco? Brothers and sisters, may I introduce you to Bruno's Pizza. Pizza is the bread of endless possibilities. What can go on a pizza can go in a calzone wrap. Look beyond a pepperoni, 32 pizzas in a snap. If you like heat, try the Lava Hawaiian. Marauder Pizza is also kicking. You need Bruno's Pizza in your life. Let the humble Bruno's Pizza lift you up from your hunger and deliver you into the realm of satisfaction. Bruno's Pizza, 910 East Front Avenue, online at brunosnd.com. Can I get a napkin?
Yeah, we're munching into Ralphie's top 3. This is where we give Ralphie his top 3. He doesn't know what we're going to ask him, and then he's got to give his top 3 of that subject. Let's see. We have him on the phone.
I hear him rolling around.
Ralphie, are you there? Welcome to the show if you are.
What's up, fellas?
You comfy?
Luke, Jared.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Ralphie, rolling around?
Getting comfy in his chair. I picture a lazy boy. He's just settling in to answer some tough questions.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Your top 3 music albums. Wait. Tracks. Albums made me sound like super old.
Album CDs? What do you call them nowadays? Hey,
8
boys,
tracks.
what do they call albums nowadays? Yeah. They call them what? They still call them albums.
They're called downloads.
They still call them albums, dude.
I'll call it down. Top 3 music albums, 8-track download, or cassette.
Did you ever have an 8-track?
My brothers did.
I'm at a very tail end. I think somebody did.
You still listen to 8-tracks, kid.
Whatever. All right, Ralphie. Number 3.
Okay, number 3, I'm going to go with a little rap. I'm going to go Tupac.
Tupac?
How is Tupac number 3 then?
So does that make you a West Coast or an East Coast guy?
He's got to be West Coast, right?
I think that is what I don't know.
You know, West Coast symbol is an M upside down.
Is
for
that right?
Minot.
No.
Yeah.
For Minot.
Dude,
I
I think that's problematic doing that up there.
Miz not.
All right, number 2.
I'm going to go with Pearl Jam 10.
You're all over the place.
Jeez. All right.
All right, hold on.
Pearl Jam.
Favorite song on that one? Porch. I think we covered that one.
I think we did. That's acceptable. Yeah, it's when he went to, was it Missoula or Bozeman?
Red Rocks. Now I remember, right?
No.
Missoula.
He went to Missoula. Thanks. I remembered. You're just Fountains places. The Gorge. All right, and number 1.
Dave Matthews Crash.
He sings like Body is a Wonderland, right?
No.
Who sings Body is a Wonderland? I'm sure of it.
Dave Mayer, man.
John
Mayer.
that's
Dago
a-
Dave
John
Mayer.
Dave, it's the same guy, right? Mayor, Dave Matthews. I don't know. They all sound the same.
Well, that's an excellent choice. It's very.
So what's your favorite song off Crash?
I think they're all pretty good. 41, Two Step, Crash Into Me, Proudest Monkey is on there.
Wow.
This is like a deep segment of my music knowledge. I have nothing to say.
Ralphie is well versed.
Hey, I'll go honorable mention, and I'll throw one out there for you,
Okay.
Jared.
All right.
Less Than Jake.
Oh, okay.
Automatic.
Yeah, I like
What's
that album.
that?
It's really good. It's a ska. He's entertaining my
Kid,
horns.
Ralphie just looked that up before he got on the phone for you.
We haven't. We actually had a conversation about the love of Less Than Jake. So we have similar music styles other than Dave Matthews Band because I'm not a fan of them after they emptied the RV porta potty over the bridge and it fell on the people below. But it is what it is.
That was a widespread genre there, Ralphie.
Ralphie, you were all over the place.
I like
I
it.
am. I'm all over the board.
Well
fellas.
versed. Well, thanks for joining, my friend.
Rah, rah, rah.
We were waiting for it.
I was like, did he forget?
I don't know. It's his segment.
Jared, your album of all time.
So we had a
Ska Lizard 7 Skins.
We had a conversation about this afternoon when you came up with this, and we decided what the first album that came to our mind, right?
Right.
And
What was
so
yours again? I already forgot.
You've already Prince, 1999.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Right? And that's just the first album that popped into my mind, whether it's the 1999, the purpleness, the age I was when I bought that album.
What was your favorite song off of that album?
Probably a little.
Oh, is this where I hit one of those buttons?
Oh, which one?
I don't know. Like
You've got-
boo. You don't remember that one?
I'm getting a Little Red Corvette, but I think that is the most
okay.
politically correct song. I think it's the song after Little Red Corvette that if my parents would have heard that song before I bought the album, they probably would not have been amused.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's one of those. It's an album I picked up when I was at camp, and we went to a record store. And
there's a lot of stories about you, Camp, your parents not happy with you, and
I think they just needed a little bit of wait time from Jared and Lila. We weren't necessarily the.
And mind you, people, this was like 40 years ago, probably.
Yeah, probably. They dropped me off at Gifted and Talented Camp in Greeley, Colorado.
Not only were you gifted, Jared, you were talented.
But I brought home that album, and I believe it's like a 2-record set.
You hid it under your mattress.
Dude, one of my prized collections.
I don't want to know about that.
Vinyl.
Oh.
Purple Rain. 45. Purple.
Oh, really? Do you still have it?
I have like 10 of them.
Wow.
Apparently, young Jared thought that they would be a collector's item at some point.
Oh, I guarantee you they are right now.
So I will go through every once in a while, like my comic book selection or old books that I have or encyclopedias. I'll open them up and a 45 will drop up out of Purple Rain. I'll try to see if I can find one and bring one.
Bring it. That would be nice to show our YouTube viewers.
That would be nice. So yours, I just can't believe. But what's yours?
How can you not believe that? First one that came to my mind was Kiss Destroyer.
Just not a fan.
Well, of course, you're on the Purple Rain spectrum.
I guess so.
I'm on the Kiss spectrum of Destroyer.
Destroyer. You just like Beth.
I'm not even gonna wait for you to ask me what my favorite song. Obviously, it's Detroit Rock City. That's the all-time Kiss
like
song.
And I only like it because the Boss Tones did a cover of it. That's freaking awesome. So
that's it. And well, that was Ralphie's top 3. He did an excellent job. Well-rounded genre story of music.
Ralphie was all over the place.
Tupac to Dave Matthews to Pearl Jam.
Not one country song in there.
Jared takes us to Prince, and I take us right back on the road to Kiss Destroyer.
The Kiss Destroyer.
Stage left, Jared. This is where we get the hell out of here. Talk a little personal about ourselves. We'll jump into you right away.
Hey, why? There's nothing going on.
Because I'm talking. Pork butt. It says pork butt on here.
That's all it says. I smoked a pork butt. It was really awesome. It took about 13 hours.
All weekend.
Started. You know what I did? I stayed up till like 2:00 in the morning and started the. What do you call that? The Weber
smoker?
The Weber Smoky Mountain.
Oh, you
Grill.
have an egg, don't you?
I've got an egg. I'm not one of you Traeger guys that has it all programmed and it does all the work for you.
Oh, don't be a hater. Don't be hating, man. Don't be hating. You would like to be a Traeger.
I would buy a Traeger, but my old man, last year or two before he passed away, decided that I needed to be fully prepared for the apocalypse. And he got me the Weber grill. He got me all the stuff to do it. A bunch of other stuff came in. So it's there. So I use it. And so about 2:00 in the morning, I started up the grill, or I started up the coals, filled it up, put it on, and then I went to bed. And then got up, made sure it was good. By 2:00, we were ready to have some pulled pork, which between Heather and I, we've been eating on it all.
But the biggest thing you did all weekend was watch some Japanese show.
Oh, I guess that's it. So I don't know. Let's ask the kids. Hey, have you guys watched Train to Busan?
The kids, Trace and Jacob,
right?
Lightjumper.
So you guys watched Train to Busan, right? So I watched Peninsula, which is the sequel to it. Korean zombies. Yeah. So it's a Korean zombie movie. In Train to Busan, they're trying to get, I don't know, from Seoul to Busan because that's the last human outpost. And if you haven't seen it, you should go see it, but you'll have to actually read because I think it needs subtitles.
It probably Peninsula does, for sure.
And then Peninsula was it's a sequel. It's not real. I don't think it's the same people. They send people back to collect gold and money, and a lot of zombie hijinks happen. And those Koreans can really do a good zombie flick.
Don't ruin it for them. Don't give them the whole thing.
No, but it's there. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it.
Give them the title of it. Just in case everybody's wondering, or anybody's wondering, Jared's a huge connoisseur of movies.
I watch whatever's out there right now.
Massive.
Peninsula.
Money heist guy.
Yeah. And watch, that's about it. So
what was the title of that again?
Peninsula.
But
where
on Netflix?
Yeah, I think so. Or Amazon, one of those
Amazon?
places. And you should go out and see, if you haven't seen that, you should see Train to Busan first. Highly recommend it if you like zombies. It's really awesome.
And that was Jared's weekend, everybody.
That was my weekend, watching TV, smoking a pork butt, watching the NFL, playing a little computer games, and I'm highly excited. I want ASU football back, and I want ASU football back where we can actually tailgate and get together and hang out. Because
I want ASU tailgating back, so Jared has
something more exciting. Can you give me some homework to do this weekend? I tried to get the current Mrs. Bennett to go see Empire Strikes Back at the movie theater, and she's like, "Why?" until my brother-in-law took my niece and nephew out the next day to see it at the theater because they're super Star Wars geeks. And then she was like, "Well, why didn't we go with them?" And I was just like, "Come on, we could have gone." You weren't excited until Johnny took Maddie and Jacob out to see the movie. Yeah, it's confusing. So my niece is dating a Jacob, so it makes it all very confusing to me. So you, on the other hand, had birthday Palooza.
All three of my kids have birthdays that are really close in timing, so we had all three.
Did you plan
birthday
that,
parties.
or is it just sort of a?
It just happened.
It just happened. That's like the special time of year.
Fall birthdays.
That's
our best because I have a fall birthday.
Yeah, I have a winter birthday. It's great.
So we did the thing. It was kind of it was different. Obviously, it's COVID time or whatever you want to call it, but they all had a couple friends over and we had a big thing going on where there's swimming and activities. And
so how'd that work? Were
like
parents afraid to send kids, or were they okay with that? Or
it was interesting. Some were like, "Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that's awesome that you're having kids over."
Need to
they need to see and play with other kids and get out and see them again and do all that kind of stuff, which a lot of them had already been, not often, but maybe, once or twice a month, same with their friends that they invited anyway.
Right.
So a lot of them were like, "Yeah, that is great." But there was a couple that got, that was interesting, right? Yeah. Because they wouldn't come because there's other people there.
That's weird. Well, I get it. Everybody,
weird, but it was ones I didn't expect to do that. I was like, "Oh, they'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine." Whatever. And you just never know. And then we asked, and they're like, "I'm sorry, we're not going to show up because there's going to be other people there and other kids."
Understandable.
Get it? Understand.
Everybody's got their own path in the pandemic.
Right. So, wow, that was deep, Jared.
That was pretty deep.
And you are right, though.
We should make a T-shirt.
Everybody's got their own path.
In the
That's a long one.
That is a long one.
So I had birthdays. We did all that. It was fun. The kids had a blast. Interesting stuff through COVID times. It hasn't been like before. We had probably 30 kids. One kid had 30 kids over.
So it's pretty nice. So instead of having like 90 kids in your backyard for birthday palooza, you were down to like 10.
Yeah, we're down to 10. But which was great is all the kids got along and they had a blast. They didn't play together.
Anybody, right?
Yeah, and it was super cool and it was fun and ate a bunch of cake. And
so what I want to know is when we got done cutting the podcast last week, we made what would you call it? An emergency slide by the Safeway because you wanted to get a birthday cake, and we slid in there right before it closed.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't have any birthday cake that we could get from the bakery.
Yes.
So I suggested the cinnamon rolls, and how'd that turn out?
So that was actually her birthday, our oldest birthday, the next morning.
Right.
Someone got her a big balloon, and then we got her those cinnamon rolls.
Right.
Well, when I walked in the door, she was still up. Yeah. She was jacked. She was like, all of them gone.
All of them
gone by 9 a.m.
Well, that's
Done deal.
That's a good cinnamon roll. And then I guess let's wrap that up in that she went back to school today.
Nope. Our youngest went back to school.
Youngest went back to school today, and she said it was?
Oh, it was awesome. She was the best thing ever was going back to school. She's 7, and she was like, "Man, school is way better at school than it is at home."
All right, Luke. So tell us how you can find us.
Awesome. Hey, if you want to find us, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or anywhere you find your podcast. So go ahead and make sure you check us out there. Also go to YouTube, because on our YouTube channel, you can subscribe, you can hit that like button, give us 2 thumbs up, and leave a actual comment.
That's the most important. We want to comment on what you thought was the best part of this podcast.
In the first 100 100 people, when we get 100 subscribers to our YouTube channel, which it has doubled overnight, literally, we are going to do a great drawing for you where you can win, I don't know, probably festival tickets. Now, where is that at? I'm not going to tell you which festival yet because there's going to possibly be multiple.
Multiple festival? What?
So
are you just being coy again?
Nope. Make sure you subscribe.
Are you going to send me to the folk music festival if I win?
You can't win.
Oh, are you serious?
So that's our first 100 subscribers going to get into a big drawing for that. Make sure you check us out there. Let's get the hell out of here, Jared. If you like this music that we're about to play, that's the Quaker City Nighthawks. Those are boys. Here's to you. Here's to me. You know the rest. And we're out.
I keep that. You just talked over it.